Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the next Foreman community demo. Your host Ken Gilvin here as always. Well, maybe not always, as we'll cover in a minute, but it's another packed day for you. We've got some exciting stuff to cover. The usual details first. Do remember to up the quality of your YouTube stream. We can't control that. It defaults to something terrible and you won't be able to see the text on people's presentations. So please do up that quality. 480p is good if you've got the bandwidth for it or higher. If you want to get involved in the show, and we really want you to, then you can jump into IRC for #theforeman on Freenode. You can hit us up on Twitter. I'll be honest, I don't check it that frequently during the show, but if you want to run some conversations over a longer time, that's good. And there's also YouTube Live as well, and I'll be monitoring the chat that comes with the YouTube client. So any of those is fine. Do get involved with the show as we go. So what are we covering today? I've got some updates from the community side. We've got some updates on infrastructure and sponsoring. We've got some presenters who are showing you various bits of the UI and where that's going. And we have a fairly big piece from one of our big community players, Atix, who are going to be showing off their current state of the dev support for Katello, which is just super amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that part of the demo. First things first, though, what is happening with 1.16? I know. This should have been out like 3 months ago, and it's just taking forever, right? I think this might actually be the most unlucky release we've ever had. So just to give you guys a bit of a picture, we started prepping the RC2 release like 2 weeks ago, and it shouldn't take very long. But then some people had to go off suddenly, and then we had some problems with some tagging, and then the builds kept failing. We had to pin a whole bunch of gems, and now just as we've got everything stable and ready to release, our Koji instance that builds the packages has fallen over. A corruption on the AWS block storage. So, oh my God, just what the hell. So it should have been out by now. It is coming. We haven't forgotten. We're really desperate to get it out to you guys. It's just really, really been very, very unlucky. And we really hope we'll get a return to form for 1.17. Such is life. What can you do? But hang on in there, and the RC2 release will be coming very, very soon. So let's talk about sponsorship for a minute. So some of you may have seen this. This got fairly high-profile coverage on Twitter. Rackspace, who are a fairly prolific sponsor of open source projects, on Wednesday last week sent out an email saying that they would no longer be doing open source sponsorship, and all of the discounts, which are substantial, that they applied to various projects would be ending at the end of the year. And we make heavy use of Rackspace, and this, as you can understand, did rattle us a little bit as we start. So we started to look around and we asked around for new sponsors, and I'm very happy to say that a lot of people have come forward to be sponsors. I'm not going to name them yet, just in case there's any problems come up or anything gets in the way. But as soon as those slaves, CI slaves or new infrastructure hosts are online, then they will be getting full profile. I'll be tweeting about it, blogging about it, etc. Because they deserve it. So thank you to all the people who are currently offering hardware to us. You know who you are, and it's much appreciated. If you're not one of those people, then you are absolutely welcome to pitch some hardware at us as well. We can always use more, if only to add more power to our Jenkins system. So do get in touch with me if you'd like to sponsor some hardware for us. Particularly right now, since our Koji instance just fell over, although we are in the process of restoring it. So that's where the sponsorship's at. We've been doing a lot of infrastructure stuff as well. So a lot of you noticed that Redmine was very slow. Our bug track was very slow a couple of weeks ago. So that's been migrated to a new host and seems to be performing much better. We are still tweaking it. So if you do see any slowness in Redmine, let us know. We probably need to do some more tweaking. And there's other infrastructure things in the pipeline as well. So keep your eyes open for emails about that. Other things that are new. So I was playing recently with matrix.org, which is a chat system, federated open source next generation chat system. I guess you can think of it as something of an open source competitor to Slack and things like this. And the good news about Matrix is that it has a completely native IRC bridge. So you don't even see the join. So basically, I've been using a Matrix client for the last week or so, and nobody on our IRC channel seems to have noticed, which is really good, apart from Avi, who couldn't whisper me this morning. But for the most part, it's really good. So if you are interested in playing with that, please do. It is entirely optional. The IRC channels are not going away. I haven't announced this to Foreman users yet because I'm still kind of getting some feedback. But if you want to go and have a play with it, please do let me know. Obviously, there's some nice features of Matrix, the main one being that you get persistence for free. So if you don't have an IRC bouncer, this may be of value to you. Let me know how you find it. I'm really interested to see what people think. So that's matrix.org. Now, matrix.org is a protocol, so there's a whole ton of clients, including like a plugin for WeChat if you really love your command line chat systems, but you can get nice React-driven UIs and mobile apps and all the rest of it. So have a play. Tell me what you think. So now on to not sad news exactly, but a bit of a shake-up. I will be taking a break from community stuff from December. I'm not going away entirely. I'm basically taking a bit of a sabbatical and focusing on some family stuff. So I'm going to be sort of away from the microphone for a few months, but don't worry. Ori has definitely got your back. She's going to take over presenting these demos. So she's probably going to do the next one in November with me to help out. And then she'll be kind of flying solo after that. You're in good hands. She's awesome. You don't need to worry. But it's just to let you know to expect that. I will be kind of around checking emails, that kind of thing, but I won't be too much in the forefront for a few months. But I'm sure you'll all be just fine without me. Don't worry. And I will be back in 2018 with some fresh energy and a bunch of stuff and ideas to work on. So I'm not going away. That's the key thing, right? I mean, you email me, I'm still going to answer you, right? But yeah, Ori's going to be the person to go to if you've got any problems to start with. All right, let's get on to our presenters. So we're going to start with Andra, and he's going to talk to us about some plugin work.
Hi, I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Great. Last demo, I was talking about plugins and how you can start with React in your plugins, and I promised that more things are on their way. And today I'll be talking about one of those things, and that's installing third-party libraries for your plugins. So you may find yourself in a situation where you need an additional library for your plugin, and Foreman just doesn't provide it. So right now you can install this library for your plugin, and you're not in any way dependent on core providing it. Again, I'll be demonstrating it on a simple example. I have a very simple component here, and let's say that I want to use Ramda to do some stuff. So I import Ramda and then use the function that I have imported. And if I take a look, I've already initialized, I've already run the npm init in my plugin and created the package.json file. This is really only the thing that npm gave me. And right now, all I have to do is run npm install Ramda and save it. Ramda is installed. Right, and as you can see, my Webpack build failed to compile, and it was complaining that it can't find the Ramda. So let's restart it to see if it picks up the newly installed dependency. Right. Right, and it compiled successfully. So let's take a look at the page. And when this refreshes, as you can see, I have here hello world. So everything works correctly. So I've just installed a new dependency. Right, and there's one more thing I'd like to show you. If I basically remove the node modules, and then I go to Foreman, and I run npm install, it should install all the dependencies for the core and for my plugins as well. So basically, when you clone the plugin that already has the package.json, all you have to do is run npm install from the Foreman, and you don't have to go to every plugin that has package.json. And when you run npm install, all the dependencies for all the plugins get installed, and you're ready. That's basically all.
That is cool. Question for you though. If it's capable of doing npm install in either the plugin or in core, can you end up in a situation with conflicts, or is it quite safe from that respect? I'm thinking like if you've ended up running npm install in both places.
Yeah, you should definitely run it from the Foreman. It's the recommended way. The first npm that I ran in the plugin, it was basically only so I get the lambda in my package.json. But the installing from Foreman is definitely a recommended way.
Right, so it's just about setting up the package file and then do it from core. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Right. Okay. Well, thanks very much, Andre. I'll just have a look see if we've got any questions for you there. No, I don't think so. Looking pretty good. So let's move on then, shall we? So coming up next, it's going to be Amir, Amir, if you don't know, is the guy that did the amazing work on the vertical navigation that we've been talking a lot about in previous demos over the last sort of 2 months. So firstly, Amir, awesome work, seriously. You did a really good job. Let's see what you've got planned. What are you going to talk about today?
Hi guys, can you see my screen?
You can.
So after positive feedback from the survey about the vertical navigation, finally it has been merged. So yeah, it was a long term. Greg already presented before, so I don't have so much to add. But I would like to show you something about mobile. So as you can see, we can, in the hamburger menu, switch location and organization. Those menu, you can find it in the desktop mode. You can only find those menu in the desktop mode. So in the mobile mode, sorry. So as you can see, I click the hamburger menu and I can choose location, and I can change it. You can see that now any location is marked. I can change it to a different one, like location 10. And I can see that is marked now. So location 10 is active now. It's the same like organization. So if I would like to change it to any organization, then I can see that is marked now, and that is the active right now. So that's it, guys.
Do you know, I think the whole time we were talking about the vertical navigation, I don't think I ever looked at it on a mobile device, and it looks really good. I just never even occurred to me, but of course, having that vertical navigation makes much more sense on mobile, and I remember what it looked like before. So yeah, wow. But that's really cool. Just going to have a quick look for questions. Oh, one from Adam. Actually, well, Adam, you're on the Hangout anyway. Just ask it.
Okay, so if I go to the hamburger menu and select locations, can I get just one level up to the menu back? Or do I have to close the menu entirely and open it again?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
If you could show the mobile UI, if you go to the hamburger menu and click on location, for example, can you get back to the menu without selecting a location or either?
Yeah. You can see the back button here. It's back. And
I can't see it.
I don't think we see your cursor, but are you pointing just to the left of the word location?
Okay, near the location you have a back button, so you can click that and you can back.
Oh, okay, I mistook it for the location icon. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's not helping that we don't see your mouse cursor. So yeah, it's struggling to point it. Yeah, it's you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Cool. Okay. Just have a look. Any more questions? Nope. Oh, someone wants to know what it looks like on a tablet. Do you have a tablet set up or just a phone?
Let's see.
He's suggesting iPad, but I guess any tablet will do. There you go.
In the iPad, it works like no, I can. It's like a desktop. It's not like it works like a desktop. So you can switch it regular like a desktop.
Well, actually, no, because I don't see the organization menus next to the Foreman icon now. They're not on the top bar.
Yeah. Okay. So
Perry's found a bug.
yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's you get the idea. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. That's your afternoon sorted out. Cool. Okay. Right. Well, thanks very much, Emir. So next up, we're going to have Avi. Avi's brand new to the team and first time on the demo. So welcome. As you can see, we're pretty chilled, right? So, but you're going to be our new UI expert, right?
Yeah, so I recently joined the Foreman team, and I'm really happy to be here. And I already started to create a few pull requests, and it's going to take a while until I will be able to really show like a real effort to make changes. Right now, I want to show something really small I changed. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, that's right.
So the first thing I did is just to add here at the notification box this close button, because before of that, the only way to close this notification box used to be click here again, click on the notification icon. So now we have this nice and small X button that we can close. It's pretty small, yeah. But from now I will start to create more and more new features, and and we'll be happy to do so.
Super. Next thing for you, make it close when you click away.
Yeah, this is going to be the next stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that helps for sure. It just makes it a little bit more obvious, but that has caught me out a couple of times where I'm like, why won't you go away?
Yeah, because it is confusing, because you expect it to work when you click on the background.
Because
so
that's what happens with the menus, right? Because on the menus on the left, that's what happens. So it's like there's an inconsistency. But still, it's an improvement for sure. And given that you've only been on the team for what, like 2 weeks? Less than 2 weeks?
Almost 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good on-ramp, really. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
So, that's pretty cool.
I really hope to show much more better implementations at the next. But this is just the first.
Well, you got 3 weeks. Get to it. Okay, thanks very much, Avi. I don't see any questions. I guess it's a fairly simple thing. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So moving on, it's gonna be Adam next. So we're gonna talk about Dimeflow for a bit.
So hello. What I'd like to show you today is one minor thing we added to Dimeflow to be able to inspect its queue. So let me navigate to the Dimeflow console. Here, if we go to the status, we can see the list of the worlds. That's all. But we added 2 new columns, one which shows execution items, which is how many items are in the queue, and the other column shows how many workers are there total and how many of them are free to accept work. Right now it shows not available because we have to first send a message to the worlds to get the count. So there's a link, load execution items counts. If we click it, we receive the counts. There's nothing in the queue, and there's 1 worker, and it's free. If I quickly start a job, which uses tasks and Dimeflow, of course, and load the items again, I can see that the count of the items in the queue is increasing, and that there are no free workers, which means the only worker that is there is actually doing all the work. Other thing I'd like to show you is that by default, the total number of the workers is set to 5. But here you can see I have 1, so I had to go and configure it. Before I made this change, it was hard-coded in Dimeflow, and we exposed it in Foreman settings. So in production deployment, it would be in /etc/foreman/settings.yaml. And it's the pool size option under the Dimeflow key. So there you can go and tweak the number of workers to be adequate to load on your server. And that would be all from me.
Nice and simple, like it. Don't think there's too much to add to that. Just have a quick look around. Oh, no questions there. Looks pretty good to me. Fantastic. Thanks, Adam. Okay, now on to the bit that I've definitely been looking forward to the most. And not that I don't like talking to all of our developers and presenters, but I've been waiting for dev support in Katello for like as long as I've known Katello, like 4 years. And here are some people in our community who are actually making it happen. So Matthias, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. Welcome all. I'm going to show a little bit of our effort to make Debian repositories work with Katello. And yeah, first we needed to adjust the pipe.deb plugin for that. And now first I want to show you, if you have products, you can now add a new type of repository there. I hope you can see my screen. So there's a new type called deb. Let's call this one. I chose that because it's a very small one. And we have here the URL, which just ends after the, at the same point it would end in the etc sources list of a Debian system. Then we can choose the releases we want to sync, which in this case is Jesse and Stretch. And we can also filter the architectures we want to sync. You could know this repository does contain AMD64 and 32-bit packages, but we only want the 64 bits. So now I can hit save. And start syncing. Okay, with this finished, we can now see this repository contains 9 packages, and we can actually look them up. But that's not the whole story. We also implemented them to be included in content views, and I don't want to make new content views right now. I'm just going to show you prepared ones. Here we sync the whole 64 version of a Debian repository, which is a little bit over 50,000 packages. And as you can see in this version of the content view, we have all 3 components and a lot of packages again. And since we do not have the support for subscription manager yet, it seems like you need to build the paths to use the repository by hand, but I will show you on another window. In the shell, we can now access the repository at
Are you typing another shell? Oh no, there we go.
No,
Just
I'm just
cutting and
copying.
pasting. Yeah.
I don't want to hit that right now. So you see, you have the name of the server, then there's the pipe, and now dep, which is I think RPM in the other cases, and then this development is the lifecycle environment, which is actually in the version 2 of the content view. And it goes on with Debian custom, and then the name of the product and the name of the repository. And this dist is already part of the repository structure for Debian packages. And you can see there is stretch synced in here. So adding this path.
So just to let you know, Matthias, sorry, just to let you know, Hangouts will mute you if you type. So speaking and typing at the same time, you basically cut out halfway through that sentence because you were typing.
Okay, sorry.
It's fine. Nobody knows about it until it happens to them. So just might want to repeat that.
Okay. I was about until dists. This is
just
the
listen
base
to
of the repository, and then I just added stretch release because this is where the release file of the Debian version lies, and then you can see there should be a contrib binary AMD64 package. I'm not gonna type too much. And now you can see this is actually a real packages file for a Debian repository. And like that, it can be used in any system you hook up with Katello. That's basically it right now.
That is absolutely superb. And it's one of those things that's really quick to demo, but I can only imagine the amount of work that went into making that happen. It's pretty huge. Got some questions. So the first one I think is fairly predictable. What about GPG keys? Can you do GPG repos?
I haven't tried personally, but I think that feature was there before we started working on PubDep.
Okay. So I mean, the actual question that Evgeny put out was how repo signing is implemented. So I guess the answer is don't know. To be tested, right? To be confirmed.
Yeah.
That's fair. The point I think is that if you use the original Debian keys, then that's obviously better for verifiability, but you can't do composite content view filters, right? Whereas if you use custom keys that you've generated for your new repo, then you can do a lot more internally, but you're not trusting the Debian keys anymore. So
since we're kind of rebuilding the repository anyway, I don't think the signatures would match.
Yeah, so you'd have to put your own keys in. Yeah. I figured that would be the case, and I think that's fine. Because it's, I mean, by its nature, this is a tool for internal consumption, right? It's not really a tool for redistributing. So I think that's absolutely fine. Just going to have a look, see if there's anything else going on. Just some comments saying fantastic, basically, which is really nice. I'm really impressed there. As I've wanting it a long time. So where are we at with this? If I understand rightly, the pulp components are merged and will be in the next release.
Yes.
Not sure.
Of course, they can be improved, but they are merged.
Okay.
And we are up to we have changes in Runcible, which are not yet merged, and the rest is inside Katello.
Yeah, there's a big PR there. I know Justin was looking at that a little while ago. So hopefully that's...
As I showed, it's working at the level of repositories up to versions of content views.
Pretty awesome. So we just need that last piece to generate the repos then, and then because you're
signatures.
The signatures, but also subscription manager, right? So you get the repos automatically populated.
Yes. The next step is subscription manager and then Katello agent.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Still, that's pretty good. I mean, it's usable now, which is the main thing, right? I mean, 50,000 packages. That must have taken forever to sync.
10 hours.
Okay, that's not too bad. Got a nice fast pipe. Well, I guess given the way Debian repos work, it's not really possible to do on demand. You have to sync the whole thing, right, and then rebuild the repo.
I guess so.
Yeah, I thought that would be the case. It would be interesting to know whether that might be something we could add later, potentially doing incremental rebuilds of repos and things, but that sounds awkward. Okay, cool. I don't see any other questions, so thanks very much for this. That's really awesome work, and I'm looking forward to seeing that making it into master. So thanks for that. Okay. That is everything for today. A nice quick demo for you, just half an hour, but that's where we are. Sadly, I don't think there's enough time. Oh, hang on. Oh, just someone picking me up on one of my earlier questions. I'll take that to IoT. So that is us for today. As always, you can find us in the usual places, #theforeman on Freenode, or indeed on Matrix. You can look at us on YouTube, where you are right now, and Twitter, Foreman Project. In the meantime, we will see you again next time. But for today, thanks for watching, and do take care.